The Book of Disquiet by Fernando Pessoa. Section 51. The black sky to the south of the Tagus was an evil-looking black, in contrast to the vividly white wings of the gulls that flew around restlessly. But the storm had passed. The huge dark mass that threatened rain and had moved to the far shore and the downtown, still damp from the drizzle that had fallen, smiled from the ground to a sky whose northern reaches began to be blue instead of white. The cool spring air felt almost cold. At empty and imponderable times like this, I like to employ my thoughts in a meditation that's nothing at all, but that captures in its void transparency something of the desolate chill in the cleared-up day, with the black sky in the background and certain intuitions like seagulls, which evoke by way of contrast the mystery of everything shrouded in the darkness. But suddenly, and contrary to my literary intention, the black depths of the southern sky, by a true or false recollection, evoke for me another sky, perhaps seen in another life, in a north traversed by a smaller river, with sad rushes and no city. I don't know how, but a landscape made for wild ducks unrolls across my imagination, and with the graphic clarity of a bizarre dream, I feel I'm right next to the scene I imagine. A landscape for hunters and anxieties, with rushes growing along rivers whose jagged banks jut like miniature muddy capes into the lead-yellow waters, then re-enter to form slimy bays for toy-like boats. Swampy recesses where water glistens over the sludge that's hidden between the black-green stalks of rushes, too thick to walk through. The desolation is of a lifeless grey sky, here and there crumpled into clouds, with more black in their grey. I don't feel the wind, but it's there, and the opposite shore turns out to be a long island behind which great and abandoned river, the true shore, can be glimpsed, lying in the depthless distance. No one has been there or will ever go there. Even if I could go backwards in time and space, fleeing the world for that landscape, no one would ever join me there. I would wait in vain for what I didn't know I was waiting for. And in the end, there would be nothing but a slow falling of night, the whole of space gradually turning the color of the darkest clouds, which, little by little, would vanish into the abolished mass of sky. And suddenly, here, I feel the cold from over there. It comes from my bones and makes my flesh shiver. I gasp and wake up. The man who passes me under the arcade by the stock exchange stares at me warily, without knowing why. And the black sky, closing in, pressed even lower, over the southern shore. 52. The wind was rising. First, it was like the voice of a vacuum, a sucking of space into a hole, an absence in the air's silence. Then there was a sobbing from the world's depths, the realization that the panes were rattling and that it really was the wind. Then it sounded louder, a deafening howl, a disembodied weeping before the deepening night, a screeching of things, a falling of fragments, an atom from the end of the world, and then it seemed